Hello, Mary Farias here with your 5 minutes is better than nothing of personal development. We're studying my book, How to Study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So we are in chapter 2 on desire, page 58. Desire outwits Mother Nature. As a fitting climax to this chapter, I wish to introduce one of the most unusual persons I have ever known. I first saw him 24 years ago. A few minutes after he was born, he came into the world without any physical sign of ears. And the doctor admitted, when pressed for an opinion, that the child might be deaf and mute for life. I challenged the doctor's opinion. I had the right to do so, for I was the child's father. I too reached a decision and rendered an opinion, but I expressed the opinion silently in the secrecy of my own heart. I decided that my son would hear and speak. Nature could send me a child without ears, but nature could not induce me to accept the reality of the affliction. In my own mind, I knew that my son would hear and speak. How? I was sure there must be a way, and I knew I would find it. I thought of the words of the immortal Emerson: the whole course of things goes to teach us faith. We need only obey. There is guidance for each of us, and by lowly listening, we shall hear the right word. The right word? Desire. More than anything else, I desired that my son should not be a deaf mute. From that desire, I never receded, not for a second. Many years previously, I had written, "Our only limitation are those we set up in our own minds." For the first time, I wondered if that statement were true. Lying on the bed in front of me was a newly born child without the natural equipment of hearing. Even though he might hear and speak, he was obviously disfigured for life. Surely this was a limitation which that child had not set up in his own mind. What could I do about it? Somehow, I would find a way to transplant into that child's mind my own burning desire for ways and means of conveying sound to his brain without the aid of ears. As soon as the child was old enough to cooperate, I would fill his mind so completely with a burning desire to hear that nature would, by methods of her own, translate it into physical reality. Wow. Napoleon Hill's own son was born without outside ears. He was born without them. And the doctor didn't know what to say. He just said he must be deaf and he must be mute because he does not have any ears. And a lot of us might think that Napoleon Hill was belligerent or crass or whatever by saying, no, I don't accept that. It's not that he didn't accept his son. He totally accepted his son. He just did not accept the limitation of his son's inability to be able to hear and speak. And because of that, you'll later hear in the story that this is the key to finding out how his son could hear and speak. It's really, really a great story. But really, it comes back to desire. He knew what he didn't want. He didn't want a deaf mute for his son. He wanted more for his son, right? And I want to express and explain that it's not that he didn't accept his son. He did not accept the limitation that was imposed on his son. There's a difference there. He wanted the absolute best for his son. And so that is one of the biggest things that we have to understand. We don't have to accept limitations. We can expand around them and find even more success because of them and despite them. And this is what Napoleon Hill's talking about. But he had a desire to find out what that was. And that is where it all begins. A desire to do it, and a decision was made to follow that desire. So really, we need to really examine our desires and really feel them and take them seriously and move towards them in any way, shape, or form. Because if we have a desire It is something that is possible for us. We have to wrap our minds around that. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.